It is a serious, universal subject matter that is not talked about enough. There are many sides to this obscurity that too often are dismissed, causing serious ramifications of traumatic isolation and uncertainties. One of life's greatest of taboos. What am I talking about? Incest. Incest has many layers, but in this video, part 1, we discuss what it is and its history, and where we stand now in present time. We will begin to open up discussion about the many sides of incest and the devastating consequences that no one seems to want to talk about or find a solution to. So, as you can see, this is a very sensitive subject matter. So please assess your ability to handle the emotions and stress that this topic could bring. If you cannot or do not have support to help you through, during, or after this video, please take care of yourself first and then come back, because I want your likes. We want your likes and your comments, especially those ones that are full of insight based on your experiences. Just not at the expense of your mental stability or someone else's mental stability because you lashed out in a comment. So please, take care of yourself first. Thank you. Surprising. There is no doubt it takes an abundance of love, physical, psychological, and spiritually driven emotional support and resources to get through the trauma of incest and to all that it entails to one's entire lifespan. But what is incest, and why is it such a taboo?
Any type of human activity that is sexual in nature between family members or close relatives, blood or not. It is derived from the Latin incestus, meaning impure, unchaste.
Incest. Well, most people just think incest. Well, there are actually two forms that are recognized: overt incest and covert incest. Overt incest is when there is some form of physical contact, sexual contact with a family member, like your parents, your sister or your brother, or perhaps your cousins or your aunt or uncle, right? And this could be so subtle as passing your sister in the hallway and she brushes her breast against your arm. It could be a game of hide and go seek gone wrong with your cousins, to a secret relationship with a daughter and her stepfather. Now, covert incest, that is non-physical sexual behavior, whereas overt incest has physical sexual contact, where covert is more behavior and it is non-physical, but is still sexual in nature and still just as emotionally and spiritually invasive. It is the most powerful form of incest to keep victims confused and silent. Covert incest is a form that is a widely used tool for pedophiles to sort of groom their victims, a way to easily acclimate them, if you will, into a more overt form of abuse. Now, due to covert's form of incest's absence of physical sexual contact, it also is one that too often goes unvalidated, which causes a whole slew of problems throughout the victim's entire path down their journey of life. With covert incest, the victim will receive frequent sexual comments and serving up a complete lack of privacy. The person committing the act of covert incest will often deliberately, expose their nakedness, time and time again claiming it was an accident each time, making the victim feel like it's just them, making it all up in their head. They'll even go so far as to convince you and come out and say it. They'll say, "You are crazy. You're imagining this whole thing. You're imagining things." They'll even turn it around and start talking about a time they were actually victimized and bring tears to the story, making the actual victim question their own self. Now, doing this consistently and constantly can destroy the rite of passage that all must take within themselves to have confidence in their decisions and to have confidence in their natural intuition. And this type of confusion can cause a sort of catatonic state to one's spirituality and to one's ability to define who they are for themselves, which can stretch across all aspects of the victim's entire life.
This is an intense subject to talk about, so let's take a second to inhale 4 counts and exhale 4 counts. Now, as you continue to breathe and relax your muscles, lower your shoulders. Now that we are more relaxed, open up your eyes and let us continue.
Now, I just want to take a step back for a second because who are we kidding? Incest is nothing new, and it's made its stamp throughout history, from the greats, as a matter of fact. Ancient Greece and the Emperor Claudius, who married his daughter. Ancient Egypt and Pharaoh Akhenaten, who married his sister Nefertiti. Philip II of Spain, who married his first cousin Mary I, the Tudor of England. And soon after Marcus conquered China and established the Qing dynasty, the practice was said to have fallen out, but did not officially become illegal to marry your cousin until 1980, when it was revised. And you guys already know there are so many more actual historical stories. Nowadays, in the good old US of A, just about every state has laws against incest, with the exceptions of New Jersey and Rhode Island, where incest between adults is legal, yet illegal to marry. And in one of the nation's biggest political states, Ohio, incest is legally allowed, provided that one party is not a parental figure to the other. And in all other states, Incest is illegal, but the punishments vary. So, as you can see now, these days, they're all laws regarding incest, but much like the past, it is a sexual practice amongst many families, societies, socialites, elites, religions, and cultures all around the world. And in some cultures, consensual adult incest is seen as a victimless crime.
A victimless crime is an illegal act that typically either directly involves only the perpetrator or occurs between consenting adults. Because it is consensual in nature, there is arguably no true victim, i.e., aggrieved party. A crime that is against the law, but that only harms the individuals who consented to engage in it.
It is unclear the actual statistics of incest because too many cases go unreported. One thing is clear. The legalities across the board are not all the same, religious or political. And incest is often consensual. Yet, what happens? What happens when it's not? We will discuss more of that in part 2, starting with childhood incest against the family dynamics and the importance of it. And I will discuss how easy it is to become silented from it and how one can become and fall victim to living the label of being unwanted because of the causes and effects of incest. Now, as we learn to take back our power so we can begin to move forward in a more spiritually positive way, I included a bonus in part 2. We are headed for greatness. So subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on what is to come. Remember to help yourself so that you can help others help themselves. And it keeps going and going and going. Don't you dare give up, okay? You got this. You got this. Just remember, it is not just your spirituality that can define your journey. It is your journey that can define your spirituality. Bless you all. Join our community by subscribing to this channel. Thank you.